Do you need business cards on the fly and you don't have time to order some online, or you just want to learn how to make some of your own at home? Then make sure you keep watching this video. Hi guys! Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Minty Mickey. I'm an artist and illustrator, and I made this YouTube channel basically because I want to meet other artists and show other people and artists all the cool stuff I know how to do. So if you want to know more about my channel and more about me, go ahead and click on that subscribe button, or take a look at my channel and see more of my content. Alright guys, so for today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how I make business cards from home. I don't really order them anywhere. I literally make all my business cards at home, and I've been making them on my own for a couple years now, so let me show you how I make my business cards. Alright guys, so to start off I'm going to show you guys the things that I use to make my business cards. First of all, I use the computer program GIMP. I'm going to be showing you guys how to lay it all out in GIMP, because GIMP is a free program and it's pretty similar to Photoshop. It's not that hard to figure out, so I'm going to show you guys how to use that. I also use the program Procreate to make the actual designs of my business cards, and you can also use Photoshop and or Adobe Illustrator to lay out all the groundwork. And I'm going to be giving you guys some tips on how to make your designs and whatnot too. Alright, now more into the actual physical materials that I use. I use cardstock in order to make the actual business cards. This is the cardstock that I use. You can find it at any office store. And then I also use spray glue, and you'll see why I use this later on. And just any old tape to tape the paper together, and you'll see why later too. This is just my washi tape. Then I also use a cutter to cut the actual business cards, and this is just the one I use. Alright, so now I'm just going to be talking about how to come up with ideas for your business card and whatnot. So if you guys are wondering where I get my inspiration for my business cards, I like to collect business cards from conventions, art galleries, and anything I go to, and I like to just keep them so I can get inspiration from them, and just because I think it's cool to have a bunch of business cards. Let me just show you guys all the business cards I have. So I actually had to get rid of some because I couldn't fit it all in here, and I was trying to get rid of a bunch of junk that I had in my room, but these are all the business cards that I've collected from people over the years. I just like looking at them and getting inspiration from my business cards. And if you don't have a really big collection of business cards already, you can always go online and look up people's business cards. That's another thing I used to do a lot. So the basic information that you always want to have on your business card is your business name and or your name. And another thing you can put on your business card is your website / store if you have one. You can also put what you do or make on your business card, because if you have a business card, you're providing business to somebody. So what I have on my business card is artist and illustrator. Email or a way to contact you. Never put your phone number or your address. Never put that on your business card. That's not a good idea, because you don't want people stalking you or something. When you're designing, make sure you think about the color palette, fonts, the size and shape you want to do, whether you want a logo on it or you want an illustration on it. Wanted to show you guys my business cards. I'll show them here on the screen. These are the ones I made recently, and I can show you guys the ones that I've made previously too. This wasn't the very first business card I made, but I think it was the second one I made, and I made this one about, I think 3 years ago already, dang. And I showed my number, don't look, oh my god. I don't know why I put my number on there, don't put your number on there. And this was the little illustration I had on the back. This was my second one. I was still learning how to do it. I made this at school. And they had really nice printers there, so this is actually printed really nicely. I think it's on a laser printer, so my new ones aren't as shiny like this one is. But yeah, I put a little illustration of myself right here, and then I just had a little pattern that I made. So now that I have showed you how to come up with ideas for your business card, I'm going to show you how I actually set up my business card to print. So I'm going to go ahead and go to File, and we're going to open as layers when you're using GIMP, and then I'm going to look for the front of the business card, and this is it. So I'm going to open this, and there it is here. And then I go to layer and I scale the layer. And the way GIMP works is that each selection is its own layer. So as you can see here, down here, you know, everything besides the business card front is transparent, and that's just the way that GIMP works. It's a little different than Photoshop. In Photoshop you can have multiple things on one layer, but on here it's easier to have one thing on one layer. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the size, 2.5 by 2.5. So we're gonna go ahead and scale that down. And so now that we have it scaled down to the size we want it to be, we're gonna go ahead and duplicate it, and you can use this little button right here to duplicate it. So we're gonna select all of the layers, so all of the 3 different business cards we have here, so that we can align them up. And I set my offset X to 80 and my offset Y to 80, just because that lines it up perfectly for printing. So we're gonna go ahead and click this button, distribute, and this distributes evenly the layers horizontally, right? So then I like the way that it is distributed this way, so I'm going to go ahead and merge these down into one layer, as you can see here. And then I'm going to duplicate it 4 times because we're going to make 4 vertical rows. So there we go. And then again, you want to select all of the business cards, and when you see these squares right here, you will know that you have selected all of the ones that you need to select. And then we're going to go ahead and press distribute this way, and as you can see, they're all distributed evenly, so I will be able to print them all out. And I like to leave, you know, a bit of an edge right here, just because I know that my printer doesn't print all the way to the edge, so you want to leave like a border of at least ½ inch, I think. So now that we have the front done, we're going to go ahead and use the guides, and it's pretty similar to Photoshop. You just bring them down, and I'm going to use this guide so I can see how to adjust the backside of the business card when I make it. And I'm just gonna merge all of these ones down because I'm going to make the front on the same file, but you'll see how to save them differently. So now that this is all in one layer, I'm gonna go ahead and upload the back of the business card. And then we're going to use those same steps we used to align the back of the cards as well. After repeating the same steps we used to make the front of the card, we can see that the back of the card aligns the exact same way that the front of the card's aligned. And this is going to be great when we go to print. So in order to save this file separately, we're going to hide the back of the business card, and then we're going to go ahead and go to File, Export As, and then you're going to go ahead and name it. Okay, and then we're going to press Export, and you always want to make your quality 100 just to make sure that it looks good. And we're going to go ahead and press Export, and there it is exporting. If you just save as, it's going to save it as a GIMP file and not really like a JPEG or anything, and it's harder to print out that way, so I always just choose Export As and save it as a JPEG. So now that we got the front saved, we're going to go ahead and show the back again. And then we're going to go to File, Export again. And pretty much the same thing. I'm going to name this one the back instead of the front, just so we know the difference. And then you're going to go ahead and export again. Alright guys, so now that we have made the business cards in GIMP, I have them saved here. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and select both of them. And go ahead and select both of them, and then we are going to open with Preview. Alright, so now that it is open in Preview, we can go ahead and press File and go to Print. And this brings up the print dialog box. So right now it is set on photo, paper plus semi-gloss because I was printing something else. So I'm going to go ahead and change the settings to photo on plain paper because cardstock is more of a plain paper than it is like glossy or matte paper. So then we're going to go to preview. We're going to make sure the scale is at 100% instead of 94 so that we can make sure that it prints out the sizing that we want it to be. And then we're going to go to quality and media. Plain paper, standard, we're going to change to high so that the print quality looks good when we print it out. And then we're going to go to color options, and I always change this to graphic to make sure that it prints out good because my design is more graphic than standard. And we're going to check the supply levels, and they are good. Make sure that you do not press two-sided because we are going to be printing them on two different pieces of paper and then gluing them together. So we're ready to print, so we're going to go ahead and press print. Alright, and I'm going to make sure that the right side is on the right side, and it is, so. And we've lined it all up in the program, so it should be good to tape. Make sure it's taped like so. Alright, and then now that it's taped on here like this, and I'm just going to fold over the tape, making sure it's even, making sure everything is still lined up. Gotta be very careful on this part. Alright, now we're gonna go spray paint. Alright guys, so now that we have the business cards spray glued together like so, we are going to now cut them, and I'm going to show you how I cut them. Alright, so I use this cutter to cut them, but you can also use like an e-xato knife, a ruler, and a cutting board too if you don't have one of these. And it's not that much harder, it's just harder on your hands to do, so that's why I use this instead. So I'm going to show you how I do it. And I'm probably going to fast forward this part. And there you have it, there's my business card. And it's pretty thick since we glued two of the cardstocks together. Alright guys, so that's how you make business cards. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to comment anything you want below. If you want me to take a look at your business cards or you know, get help making business cards, go ahead and message me. I'm always free to, you know, open to help you guys. And if you want to see how I make stickers, you can go ahead and check out my video from last week where I make stickers. And that's all for me today, so thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!